Hello everyone and welcome to the next installment in the series of data visualization. Now that we have looked into the line graph, we proceed to the next kind of a graph, that is the bar graph. So now what is a bar graph? A bar graph is a chart or a graph that represents categorical data with rectangular bars with heights or lengths proportional to the values that they represent. The bars can be plotted vertically or horizontally. Now, two main key factors to look for in this definition is categorical data and heights or lengths being proportional to the values. Now, bar graphs can be used to represent only categorical data, and the heights or the lengths which the bar stands is proportional to the value of that particular category or that particular feature. Alongside shown is a very basic bar graph, and it has two main characteristics, the primary feature being its length or the height, and the outcome being maximum, minimum, or the frequency. Frequency can be looked at directly by checking out the value which it corresponds to, which the bar corresponds to on the y-axis, and the maximum or the minimum is just based on observation. So next we have various types of bar charts. The most basic are the vertical or the horizontal bar graph. Now basically these two graphs are the same. It's just based, the difference is just based on how the x and the y-axis are with respect to each other. Next kind of graph is the stacked graph. The stacked graph is looking at numeric values across two categorical variables. Instead of one, it is two categorical variables. For example, in this particular bar graph, we have clothing, equipment, accessories at the top, which is basically the different domains, and Cherry Street, Strawberry Mall, Peach Street, etc. as the different locations. So these are two separate categorical values which are represented in a single bar graph, which gives us the stacked graph. Next is the grouped bar graph. Now a group bar graph is used to represent and compare different categories of two or more groups. Now basically this is various groups which has four categories in each group. So now these are all represented in one particular bar graph, which gives us the grouped bar chart. Moving on, when to use a bar graph? Now there are obviously various types of graphs, and it has already been covered in the previous video that which graph to use when. But a bar graph can essentially be used when things between different groups are to be compared or changes over time are to be tracked. Now it is all based on the user's visualization and imagination because bar graphs are pretty versatile. So the use of bar graph may extend beyond just these two, and it is not limited essentially to just these two uses. Now we have looked at line graph as well in the previous videos. So now when to use a line graph and when to use a bar graph, one may ask. So there's a very basic difference. A bar graph is essentially more versatile than a line graph, but a bar graph is used when changes over time are larger and prominent, whereas a line graph is used when changes over time are smaller. It is very clear with this example that when categories 1 and 2 are compared, a bar graph does not provide as good an insight as a line graph because the change is really small. So that is when you use a line graph when the changes over time are really small. Alright, moving on, plotting and reading a bar graph. So alongside is another basic grouped bar graph. It's a very general example, let's say, of basically an examination. We have all studied physics, maths and chemistry in our 12th grade. And here I have represented, let's say, marks. Y-axis represents a certain scale of marks, or let's say students basically who have passed these examinations. And 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 will represent various institutions. So plotting a bar graph, you have to keep in mind these 4 points basically. So first is to examine data and calculate the limits of the x and y axis. Now what I mean by limits is the maximum values the x axis would go and the maximum values the y axis would go. Next is label the x axis as categories compared and the y axis as the discrete values. Now a bar graph can only be used to represent discrete values and categorical variables. The next point is draw the bar graphs according to individual categories and the values which the individual categories have. Like I've drawn here, blue represents physics, and let's say in the first school, suppose 5 into a certain scale of students have passed. So I have accordingly represented a 5 on the y-axis and drawn a bar graph, the basic blue bar up till the 5 mark on the y-axis. And next is the last point is, in case of a group chart, make sure you have the same order in each pairing. So now this is a group chart, right? Now I cannot have physics, maths, chemistry in the first one and maths, chemistry, physics in the second one. They all have to be in the same order. So these are the 4 points which are essentially to be kept in mind while drawing a bar graph. Next is things to look out for. Now, what are the takeaways when we draw a bar graph? A bar graph can provide an excellent insight and tell us various patterns rather than just looking at data blankly. So various things to look out for in a bar graph are the tallest or the shortest bar, which indicates the maximum or the minimum value, and the growth shrinking, or basically indicating a trend. Now in this bar graph, there is a basic trend, right? It's the same trend observed in all three subjects. Up till college institution number three, the values of the students passed increases, whereas it starts to decrease after four, after three, four onwards. So this is a particular trend which is the same for all three subjects. And the next point to look for is change in bars representing the same category in different classes. Now, what I mean by change in bars is, if we take this example, change in bars is basically the subject wise, change subject wise. So physics, now in this particular situation, the change in the trend in each subject is observed to be the same. It all increases up till 3 and then decreases 4 onwards. And even in institution number 4, the number of students who passed physics, maths and chemistry happens to be the same. So these are some of the things you look out for when you draw a bar graph. Alright, thank you so much. Now please like, share and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video which will cover the coding